Hello everybody, welcome back to Musings by Nikki. This is Nikki. I have for you today the second in my fairy journals, and I made two kind of at the same time. I had this one here that I showed in my last video. And now I'm filming the second one. They are both kind of the main bits and pieces of these come out of some, I think it's 3 or 4 digital kits. I think it's 4. 3 fairy ones and a secret garden one by Amy Joy Studios. And so you should check her out. I'll post her in the box down below. Her link. There's also a word card in here, and I'll show that to you from LJB Instaprints. Cool stuff there. You should check that Etsy out. And then there's some bits and pieces from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. I think there's some like flashcard things in here. There's definitely some graphics fairy images. There are a couple of envelopes that came from a Zoe Tofield kit. She's Razzers Crafts on Etsy. I'll point those out. And then the back sides of all of the front, so the front of the kit is Amy Joy Studio, all the fairy images and stuff. But on the back side, I just put some kind of lined paper images that came from Tsunami Rose. So most people know her, but there's a lot of those, and they work great for backing a digital kit, so that there's like some journaling pages. So all those people, thank you all those people. Also in this book, inspiration from Jibid Neri, who is brilliant and awesome. And so there's some sewn pages in here that are kind of from her, or inspiration from her and other people as well. But thank you to everybody, and thank you to all of you who are watching me. And let's get to the book. So, hardcover. It is about 6 by 9. It has on the front, this is one of the pieces of ephemera that come in the Amy Joy kits. A little Tim Holtz thing says use your wings. And then there's some little tinsel eyelash around here with some gold tinsel. And then I was just kind of thinking about how, you know, Tinkerbell, the fairy Tinkerbell, has like thimbles and little bits and bobs of found objects and stuff in her little fairy house. And I kind of think about that when I think about fairies. So these, I did a flat spine, a straight spine, not instead of a rounded one, so I could sew on all these little bits and pieces. I did this on a custom journal recently, and I really liked the way it looked. And so here I just put a bunch of little beads and some buttons and things that I was able to sew on, and I think it kind of reminds me of, like, you know, little found objects that a fairy would have found in like the garden. I'm going to call this book The Fairies of the Secret Garden. Fairies in the Garden, Fairies in the Secret, something like that. Anyway, there's also a tassel, and there's a bunch of different types of ribbons and trims and stuff in here. And there's also some found objects, some buttons. Here are some safety pins, a little owl charm, some leaves, a key, so some little bits and pieces, and that's just clipped on here, like a fairy would find. The book itself is covered with this really pretty kind of almost batik fabric. It's, you know, made to look like batik, but it's not actually batik, but it's very pretty. And I found that it's a quilting fabric I found. It's closed with this piece of ribbon that is not actually attached, so you don't have to have it on, but you can take it off. And let's take a look inside. Right up on the front page here, there's some lace pocket and bits and pieces from the different kits. I cut up the 5x7 kit and used it in various applications and pockets and things throughout this larger kit or larger journal. And then you're gonna see some places where the images actually have like an overprint of lines, and that's because I was printing, and I was printing so many because I bought all these digital kits. And I was printing and was not paying attention to how I put some of them into the printer, and I forgot to turn them over. And so the lined pages printed on top of some of the fairy and garden pages, but I kind of like the way it looked, and I didn't want to just chuck them out. So you get some coffee stained lined stuff over some of the digital kits. So anyway, you'll see some of that through here too. A lot of gold sewing. I sewed as long as I could. If you watched my previous fairy video, I sewed as much as I could with this gold thread because I think it looks really pretty and whimsical and adds this little sparkle. But my sewing machine stopped liking it, and then I got so frustrated trying to unjam my sewing machine and like rethread it and stuff. Comment below if you know why that happens. I think maybe it was like as it got to the end of the spool, it got more kinked or something. I'm not sure. It was sewing beautifully with the gold thread for a long time. There's some copper thread too. But then all of a sudden it just stopped liking it. So if anybody knows why that happens, let me know, because I like it. It was not fun to sew with after a while. Anyhow, this is from the Amy Joy Studios Secret Garden kit. This is from her Fairies kit. This is on some shimmery cardstock, and there's some little glittery bits of handmade paper as well. And then this is, you know, like I was saying, the images are backed with paper from Tsunami Rose. This is the Jibbid inspiration from her mermaid journal. She had sewn all on the sides of some of the pages, and I loved that look, and I thought it would look really pretty and whimsical and left the long threads. This is from a small book of essays and it's just this cute little book from Tea and some Happy Mail. So I've taken it apart and I'm sewing them into journals. They're really cute. This is glittery paper, and this is shimmery ribbon. So I'm not sure how much of the glitter and the shimmer will show up on camera, but I'll point it out to you because it's really pretty, especially in the daylight. It's really pretty. This is, again, more shimmer. This is some fabric trim, but then it's eyelash, and it has almost like an iridescent little tinsel through it. It's really pretty. Here are a couple of cards on the back with some handmade paper and some of that vine trim. Here is a pocket tag, and this, I think this is from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. I'm not sure. Anyway, they're really cool. It's just A through E, and they're botanical and bird images, natural images, so it's cute. Some lace pocket. This is the Secret Garden kit. It's from the Fairies kit. And then I also took some of the pages from the 5x7 kit and turned them into just little notebooks where you could journal as well, and sewed it with some lace down the side. So that's tucked in. Here's the first of two little fairy beads dangles that I made. She has a skirt that's faceted, all pretty dress, and some little wings. So she's hanging on this lace from a Tim Holtz pin. More from the kits and some handmade shiny glitter paper. These are little pockets, and it just has, I'm not gonna for the sake of time, but they have little journal cards in them. There we go. Some eyelash trim that has gold tinsel in it. More from the kits. This is some ephemera that comes with the kit. I turned it into little banners and made a tuck spot up at the top. This is some embossed shimmery paper, and I just put some pink laces down there. And then that tucks back up here. Like so, right? Come on. There we go. All right. More from the kit. Secret Garden. This is a little half page, and it has some handmade paper, some sari silks. This is some of the copper sewing, copper threads, and it has tags and little journaling spots. This is some of the ephemera that comes, fairy soap. And then this is from a small floral book that I have. some of that jingly trim that I love. There are a couple of these as well. These are those Tim Holtz people cut out, die cuts, and then I gave them some wings from Graphics Fairy. It says, and voices soft and sweet. And then I embossed some paper, and they're in this little pocket, and they have just a couple of tags in there that I've sewn around. More glitter, an essay, some vintage lace. More from the kit. I love this kit. This is probably my favorite of the kits. I just think it's really pretty. I love these vintage images. And you can find these, some similar ones on Graphics Fairy as well. Here's a little pocket. And I have a vintage floral or like botanical book. Anyway, this just reminded me of like a habitat where you would find fairies, like little glowing flowers floating around. So I tucked a couple of those. This is some vintage lace. Here's another one of the images that comes with the kit, this sweet little fairy girl. And she's hanging out in a pocket here. Come on. With some more of that vine trim, some big flouncy lace there. More from the kits. More from the kits. This is some of that overprint. And this is some of the other cute ephemera that comes with the kits. This is a tag that's in that pocket. And then this is just the front page from an old book that I have been tearing apart. This is from The Secret Garden. Here's some vellum. And then this is the first of 2 envelopes. Then these are made from one of the Zoe Towfield's Razzer's Craft kits that comes with one of her wings or birds, one of those. Anyway, I own several of her kits as well. And I interchanged them. So I made a little butterfly with some little rhinestones, some bling. And then some more of those little Tim Holtz girls with fairy wings now. And this is an old tea bag and some handmade glitter paper, and it's all kind of collaged together. Big ruffle of blue lace here, and then there's a little charm bead bobble dangle attached with a little ball pin. The seeds they had planted grew as if fairies had tended them. See, the fairies in the secret garden. These are some old calligraphy practice papers teaching. And then here is the first of 2 of these pockets with some lace and some of that shimmery ribbon. And this one is W for Wisteria. And you could journal on the backs of those as well. So that's the Secret Garden kit, I believe. This is this trim that is like an eyelash, but it is so, so soft. And it's this gorgeous mauves and kind of lavender lilac and dark purple. Oh, it's so pretty. And it's so soft. I wish you could all feel it. It's really cool. Little half page. This is from the Secret Garden, and this is from one of the fairy kits. And some more little fairy habitat book page, some glittery tabs. More from the kit. Some doily stenciling. Some sari silk with the copper thread that I got over really fast. Even faster than the gold. This is from one of the kits, and it's just a journaling tag. This is one of the overprints from the kits. This is some of the ephemera from there. Here's a little tag tucked in that's from Graphics Fairy. And then this is a purple bag here. And inside of that is some Edith Holden page that's cut down with a little poem on it and some images, floral images. This is a stack, a waterfall stack of papers that flip up and you can journal on the back of and underneath of. The Secret Garden kit there. Here's some little vintage buff pages from a botanical book from the 40s. A little bit of lace, another one of the pages from the kit. This is some of that adorable little ephemera little girl fairy girls that come with the kit. She's backed on some used tea bags, some eyelash trim, and a flip out. It's a little pocket with this round bit, comes with one of the kits. Then here's a tag inside this doily pocket. A while ago I cut up some of my old watercolor painting, practice painting pages, and I've been using them in journals, and this is one of the last little bits. And so I cut it out, fussy cut it kind of, and then fussy sewed it, but it looks really cool on the back too. So it's kind of a copy of it on the back, sewed. And then there's just some of this glittery handmade paper behind it. Cool little tag. Some more from the kit and that shimmer ribbon. Here's a little mason jar flower pocket that I made with a little, I don't remember where that one came from, too many kits. And some handmade paper that just has some shimmer in it. And another little Tim Holtz fairy with some wings. Here is another example of the 5x7 kit that I cut up and made into some larger tags. And then this is a tag from Graphics Fairy. Some wedding dress trim on the edge of this page from the kit, one of the fairy kits. Some more really cool ephemera. And as little tickets and a mini tag. These roses come from the kit as well. And then this is from one of the offcuts from one of the kits and some pattern paper, and I made a tag that goes into this pocket, and then there's some little mini little tags on the ends of those. Here's the other side of that pocket, and it just has a pink tag in there. Some more ledger and more of this vintage lace. And another half sheet with another one of the pieces of ephemera that come with the kits. And then I just tucked inside the pocket there a little handmade paper tag. More from the kit, more from my little vintage botanicals book. More of that sewing on the edges of paper. I just love that idea. I love this image. These kits are so pretty. I really like them. This is some Tim Holtz vellum, and then this is another one of the little pads of paper from the 5x7 kit. So sewn into a tablet, and that can go in there. And then here is another just extra print. So I turned it into an envelope that you can open and journal in, and that tucks into this pocket. This is an offcut from the 5x7. I love that image. This little fox here is from the Secret Garden kit. That's more the one that I really like. These vintage fairy ladies. Some more of that pretty shimmery ribbon. This is a book page that T sent me in some Happy Mail, a friend. Here's a pretty little, sweet little fairy girl, and there's just a ticket in a pocket, or a ticket and a tag in her pocket. Vellum, more from the Secret Garden. Here's another, just a little bead dangle that I made to go on the edge. Some fabric trim. This is another small little sweet piece of ephemera, little fairy girl sitting on a star amidst the clouds, and that's a pocket that has a mini tag in it. Some more calligraphy pages. Here is an old Tennyson poem from a very old poetry book that I have. There's a tag in there with a heart sewn on. That's handmade paper as well. And this is from the school that I work at, and they were getting rid of some very old books, and so I salvaged a couple that they were throwing away, and was able to pull the library cards out. So here's the card, and I just put some sparkly paper and flowers on it. And here's a little woodland fairy tea. This is the last of this some extra bits and pieces from making your custom journal. So here's one of those pieces of lace that you sent. So thanks for that. more from the Secret Garden, more of that super soft eyelash stuff. It's just so soft on this vellum. Little corner pockets. Here's some of the overprinted fairy paper, so she is now a tag. The other side of that paper from T with this lovely Tim Holtz sweet little fairy girl with wings on. Here is the other, let's see if I put it over the white, you can see better maybe. The other little fairy bauble that I made, and she's a little shorter and has this faceted pink skirt. Cute, cute. Love this purple color, so pretty. That's from the Fairy Kits. This is an envelope that is made out of this embossed shimmery cardstock and sewn around. And inside is this little accordion fans flower thing. You could stick little pictures on the back or little quotes or do some little journaling back there, but that all folds back up and goes in this envelope and attaches back over the edge. That's from the Secret Garden. These are some more overprints. That's from the Secret Garden. This is probably one of my favorite images. I put her with some of this tinsel, like eyelash tinsel around here, and some gold thread and an old dictionary page, and layered her up. That's pretty. It's one of my faves. Secret Garden. This is another overprint and another one of those envelopes that you can journal inside of. Here's the other envelope that I made, and it's got some of the lace from T as well. And then this another sweet little Tim Holtz fairy with some of the tinsel eyelash behind it. And she has some pretty yellow wings. This is from Fanny Robinson, Flowers of a Victorian Lady. This is some vellum that I just sewed through without thread to make lines so you could journal on. Another one of my favorite images from that fairy kit. Here's a little tuck spot with a journal card. And I ripped this page when I was copy staining it, but I've decided to keep saving those now because I kind of like them. I kind of like the way it looks. This is from the kits as well, and here is an offcut journaling card. Another one of the overprints with a little journaling card in it. Last bead dangle. This one has a little blue rose at the bottom and some little faceted gems. Almost there, guys. Love that. Isn't that so pretty? I just love the colors in that. This kit is so pretty. Some fabric trim. Another part of one of the gorgeous pieces of the kit. Here is that big word card that I was talking about from LJB Instaprints. You should check out this kit too because it's great. You'll be seeing some of these in my upcoming journals. And then I printed some of the Tsunami Rose lined paper on the back, and it makes for an excellent journaling cards. They're nice and big. Then this is a flip out with some lace, and tucked into that pocket is a mini journaling card. Some more of that tinsel trim. This is from the Secret Garden kit. And these last two images are from one of the fairy kits. I love this. These are what, Chinese lanterns, or they're not bleeding hearts. I don't know, but they're pretty. I like that image. So you've seen it a couple times in here. Here's my little musings by Nikki Tag, and that is the end of that book. All the goodness, all the stuff and tons of wispy threads just kind of wafting around as you go through this book that I was trying to kind of just make feel whimsical. So thank you for stopping by and watching. And I noticed that at the time of filming this, that I am almost to 200 subscribers, which is not a ton of, compared to some of the others of you who I watch who have, thousands. But for me, that is kind of a big deal. So thank you to all 198 of you. I am 2 away. Maybe when I finally tick over 200, I'll give away something. And just think, because there's only 200 of you, you have a much better chance of winning it than you would on a channel with like 20,000 viewers, right? Or subscribers, right? Anyway, you gotta look on the bright side. So thank you so much for stopping by, for watching, for your support and your lovely comments, for sharing and talking about my channel. I appreciate you all. This is therapy for me. I was saying in my last video, I have some health issues, but this really is, doing this gets me through a lot. And so I'm just blessed that I get to share it with all of you as well. So thank you. Have a wonderful day, the rest of your day, wherever you are. Enjoy the sunshine or the rain or the wind. And I will see you next time. Stay blessed. God bless. Bye-bye.